Oh, hi, hello there. Hello, everyone listening to Roll Again. This is Samson, as always, the DM for our Barrier Cities campaign. We also have joined with us Anthony, who played not Al this last episode. Anthony played Cal? I don't remember your name.
It was
Cal. Yep. Cal and Joe played Bear. And joining us very specially, we have Ian Fajardo, who wrote the one-shot that we played the modified version of. We're going to, this is for those of you filling in for the first time, this is going to be a public episode as opposed to our behind the paywall episodes. But if you want to hear more episodes like this behind the scenes content, please be sure to subscribe to the Patreon and get your behind the scenes content as well as other one shots, etc. that are not public domain. This is the roll again for Thorns of the Ancient Seal. If you haven't watched Thorns of the Ancient Seal, what are you doing here? Go watch it right now. You're not going to understand anything we're talking about. If you also haven't watched Thorns of the Ancient Seal, you don't know how great of a one-shot it was. Now, granted, if you watch it and then go buy it yourself, it's probably going to be a little different because we modified it to fit our universe. But it's made by a great company called Minva out of North Carolina. Shop local, shop within the U.S. if you can, if you're from the U.S. If not, fuck the U.S. But maybe still shop from us because we're kind of a dying country at this point. Ian, what inspired you to write this one shot, or were you just looking for something to write and this was an idea?
This was actually my first sort of published written adventure. I actually had it in my drafts for a couple months, and then I had my 1-year-old. Well, obviously it doesn't come out as a 1-year-old right away, but I had my kid a year ago, and actually finished it up through my paternity leave. So while she was sleeping and taking naps, I decided to finish it up. But I thought if like a forest horror would kind of be something not too crazy to kind of start off with, and yeah, that's where it kind of began.
Very cool. I read this. I got it. Full disclosure, I have a personal account on TikTok that's not the Saving Throw Society account. I know, boo, I'm the worst. But I get sent free samples and make videos for stuff, and this was something that I got sent and reached out to the Minva page that, hey, what if we recorded this one shot and did our own thing with it? And that seemed pretty cool, because as soon as I got this and read it, I was like, we're going to do this in Appalachia. We're going to do this in Appalachia because nothing screams folk horror, forest horror to me more than the Appalachian Mountains. Just so much sort of lore behind that setting, etc. And I mean, look at the picture on the cover. That is 100% some sort of cryptid. I know it's a Thornwright according to the book, but man, that is a creepy cryptid if I ever saw one. Who did the art? Where did you find the artist that created that?
I found it online, honestly. Someone, I like their style, is black and white. I think his name was, username was like Ralky V or something like that. But that's the only commissioned art that I have in the book, and gave him a bunch of different photos that I saw online of kind of what I imagined the Thornwhite should be. And yeah, they did a great job. Yeah.
I'm going to talk just a little bit more before I turn it over to other people, but what inspired the idea for a game system agnostic system? Because I've never heard of anything like that. It might have existed. I might just be not in the know, but man, I've never even thought of a game one shot that could be played in any sort of system. And it's done in such an interesting way. It's because Anthony and Joe, you haven't seen the book, but it's done where, like, for example, the owlbear that you guys fought, it has an example in here. It says injured owlbear. It has HP 2 out of 5 circles filled in, armor 3 out of 5 circles filled in, speed 2 out of 5 circles filled in, and it has 3 sort of abilities that I can create what D6 or D8 or what damage system they use and everything beyond that. So I wasn't actually using owlbear stats, which is why I think Anthony got surprised when he rolled a 15 to hit, and I said it does not hit, because in the monster manual, 15 hits an owlbear. Not in this one shot, doesn't. What inspired the way you built this agnostic system?
Yeah, no, actually, I started playing a lot of different types of RPGs other than D&D recently, the past like year or two. And then I came across an artist, and I guess they also write adventures. His name is JP Couvert.
Okay.
And I bought an adventure one shot from him, and he kind of basically, he does the system agnostic ones too. It had a similar system. So I wouldn't say I copied it directly, but I heavily inspired by how he did it. And thought that was a really cool thing. And obviously, like, I've been sending samples to a bunch of, like, people on TikTok and stuff to get their hands on it. And I've had a couple of people make their own stat blocks for the games that they played. So obviously one for D&D 5e, and like a more fantastical kind of version, more traditional than what you guys played. But I think that's sort of what I was kind of aiming for, where I give you a little bit of guidance, right? Like, hey, this is a fast character, this is a slow character with probably a little bit more strength than normal, and then you kind of just adapt it the way that you want, and then use those abilities as flavor.
That's cool.
It was,
if you want to, right?
It's been really interesting this whole time, because you said not really like how we played it, because we played D&D 5e. The amount of pushback that we actually got from people when I started saying, we're going to play D&D, we're going to play in a modern setting. They're like, why aren't you playing Monster of the Week? Why aren't you playing Kids on Bikes? Why aren't you playing some other setting? Why are you forcing D&D to be modern? People just don't have any damn imaginations. I don't see why D&D can't be a modern setting at all.
Oh, no, totally. Yeah.
For us, it works fantastic for us. I think
I
was going to say something.
No, I was laughing.
Oh, okay. Ha ha ha.
Ha 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 ha.
I don't know why I was such a jerk when I did that. Going to our character players real quick. Anthony and Joe, did you guys plan to be polar opposite characters that hated each other, or was that just fun for you guys to hate each other in the game?
It was just fun. I came into this game 100% just with my character in mind, how I was going to play him. And when Joe walked on screen and was just like, I'm a cop, basically, and you got to follow the rules. I'm just like, this is the guy I don't like right here.
Well, they say art imitates life, and as everyone knows, I hate Anthony to my core, so it really wasn't hard. No, I'm kidding. I think, Samson, you set it up, at least I felt you set it up in a way. I certainly didn't come in with any sort of intentions, but you set it up in a way that, the head officer was kind of trying to control the situation with the Rangers. So it just kind of naturally felt like there was going to be some tension there. And I came in, with the idea of having a character that was just going to be an asshole. So it kind of just worked out.
I don't know how much people actually realize about like my personal life. I fix musical instruments for a living, but I did take a hiatus from doing that for 4 years to be in a police dispatcher. I worked in a police department. I dealt with police heavily for 4 years in law enforcement. That's very much the reason it's designed that way, is because that's how it would happen in real life. There is 100% no way that the police would not try to take over everything immediately and control the situation, and try to overrule the Rangers on stuff, even though the Rangers have way more knowledge and ability in this specific setting. From watching police try to interact with fire department, from watching police try to interact with animal control, there's a certain type of person that becomes a police officer, and they're very much who they are to their core. Ian, did you happen to catch what I did with the names of the Rangers and the police officers at all? I wasn't sure if you would have caught it when you listened.
No, I didn't actually. What did you do?
So the NPCs you have in the book, you have example NPCs in the book. You have Oren Green, Bevel Left, Elric Fairweather, Eliane Skrill, and Temis Referai. And we had District Ranger left. We had Sergeant Green was the head of the police on scene, and the missing Rangers we had were Ellis Fairweather, Mara Skrill, and Ben Referai.
Gotcha.
So I did sort of an homage to their names because I wanted to keep aspects of your world integrated with our world. And I thought, hey, if you're going to give me names, I don't have to make up some bullshit. Why not?
Nice. Yeah, I actually watched or listened to the episode on a plane ride, so I might have not have caught it, like, in between the sound of engines and the people trying to give you drinks and asking you stuff. So that might have been why.
Going through the actual playthrough of it, you guys happened to pick the heaviest level of combat that we could have done based off of the decisions of where you went in the forest. There was much less combat involved that you could have gone based off because I offered different look, like you can go this way, or you can go this way, and immediately Cal was like, nope, we're going this way. I'm like, okay, you're gonna fight 3 wolves then.
I'm an experienced tracker. I'm experienced tracker, experienced monster hunter. When I am looking for people or things, I follow the clues in front of me, and I found people and monsters. Mission accomplished. All right.
You did. Joe, this was your first time playing a barbarian. Barbarians are very low ability, very much just hit stuff. How was that?
It was good. It was something I had wanted to try out, and kind of the next class that I wanted to try, because I haven't really tried that much yet, and I'm still kind of getting into it. But yeah, I wanted to. I was trying to model that character after Negan from The Walking Dead. Kind of that type of a concept. If you've ever read those comics, watched the show.
The entire. I much prefer the comics. I've read the whole comic compendium, and I've watched most of the show. I haven't watched the offshoot shows, but yeah.
So I was kind of going for that type of a vibe, and as we were playing, as I was kind of, I didn't read ahead of time. I kind of wanted it to be a surprise. But I was getting I've read this series of books by Blake Crouch. I don't know if any of you've ever read any of his books. He has a really great book called Dark Matter and another one called Recursion, which are 2 really excellent sci-fi books.
Is Dark Matter, did they make a television series based on
They did make a television show. I have not checked the television show out.
That show is so fantastic. I didn't realize it was a book.
Yeah.
Correct me. I want to make sure I'm not confusing this show with a different show. Bunch of people wake up on a spaceship. They have no idea who they are.
You're getting it confused with a different show.
Damn it. Okay. Never mind.
But in any event, he's got a trilogy of books called the Wayward Pines trilogy. And so it was very much evoking that world from that trilogy. It's definitely not my favorite of his books, but if you're into this type of a vibe in terms of kind of the dark spooky forest thing, I would recommend reading that book too, or those books I should say. And I wanted to ask, I know Samson kind of asked this in the beginning, but what inspired the setting of this of all of this stuff?
What inspired the setting?
Yeah.
I like, before I had my kid, we used to go camping a lot, and I think it was like born from like my initial fears of like being out in the woods. You know what I mean? We actually took our first backpacking trip, let's say like 4 or 5 years ago, and we had the whole like shebang of like, you know, the big backpack and you know, the bear can, and like, you know, putting it in there and making sure like no food, you know, is out when you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. Otherwise they're gonna come and get you. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a mix of, you know, your imagination fears, you know, at night. And then kind of
Was
mixing
the
it with like
camping by any
D&D.
chance in Appalachian Mountains?
It was it was in the Shenandoah.
Nice.
So we
So
backpacked
close.
part of the Shenandoah. Yeah, in Virginia.
Very cool.
What a
Yeah.
therapeutic approach to writing.
Yeah. No, totally.
When you came up with the Thornwright, which was our clicker cryptid, that
Mhm.
I hadn't I intended the Thornwright to be much more unique to what you wrote until Anthony wrote in his backstory that this clicking cryptid monster took and killed his cousin, and I was like, well, that's the Thornwright now. 100%. We're going to use the backstory.
Yeah.
But what kind of, did you have any sort of lore or monster ideas that inspired the Thornwright? Because it's a very unique creature.
Yeah, there was a similar monster that I got. It was like a monster bestiary of a bunch of creepy monsters, and there was one that was sort of like a tree monster where it would like teleport between trees, and that was like sort of its thing. And then like um, basically suck people into the trees and like kill it within it, right? And I kind of wanted like a similar kind of like tree like thing, and obviously didn't want to copy the tree portally thing, but I thought a similar thing would be with like roots and brambles and things like that. That kind of was sort of the inspiration for it. I can't remember the book off the top of my head. But
it was wild reading the Thornwright, and then Anthony sent me his backstory. I'm like, oh my god. You wrote the main monster from the book into your backstory without realizing you did that.
I was just trying to go like creepy Appalachia woods, and they kind of meshed, I guess.
Hey, if you say Appalachia, I'll throw an Appalachia.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Got him.
The other thing that played a huge, it was way more, I made it way more deadly than the book alludes it to be, was the bloodthirsty vines. I made them way more deadly than the book does because, one, I'm a big fan of things that shouldn't be able to kill you, killing you. I think that's a real fun game aspect. And this was brambles. The description in here, animated by wild magic, these vines lash out at any warm-blooded creature that approaches, and when an attack draws blood, the vines siphon it. But you only have 1 HP, which makes sense. They're plants. 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 armor, and 2 out of 5 speed. No one really tried to fight them. And they have some grasping and siphon whipping kind of attacks. Hey, you guys could have escaped those brambles if you tried, but no one really tried to fight them too hard.
Hey,
I think someone set fire to them.
I killed the brambles that had Eric's character tied up, and then I tried to save him, but Katrina was royally fucked by them. And then Joe, you started to. I don't remember if you were overcome by them.
No, Joe and Alexis got by the thorn.
Right. I think you had said that you stop when Katrina did, so they started on you, but you just dispatched them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the fact that Katrina survived just to be her essence sucked out of her by those vines is fucked up.
The thing is, when she plays these deadly one shots, because we've done a couple deadly one shots at this point. Mm-hmm. I think this is the first one that's public domain.
Yep.
Because the mall wasn't, and we haven't even released your one shot yet, where she dies.
Spoilers.
Katrina spoilers, Katrina dies a lot in these things.
It's nothing personal.
As she should.
It's nothing personal, but it's completely personal.
It's completely personal. Katrina's a very macabre mentality kind of person. She has very dark humor, very much. she very much wants her characters to suffer when she plays these games, and I'm here for it. I'm here to lean into that pain that she's seeking, because as she's self-described, she lives a very privileged and happy life. Her parents love her. She's in a relationship with a loving partner. She owns her own house. She has a job where she's successful. She wants a little bit of pain and suffering into her fictional character lives. So I'm here for that. The funniest moment of her not death to me was Eric immediately after saying, "Can we just elect to fail the death saves as opposed to that happening?" I want to talk about the section of the book, because there's an entire section of this book that we did not get to based off of, one, we were running out of time, and two, you guys just didn't go that way. And there is a section of this book called the Caracas Stronghold, which I had repurposed as sort of a underground bomb shelter lab type place that you guys would have gone to. And you guys, we just skipped it entirely. We did not go to it, but it had certain things such as the shrine. There was a library. There was an arboretum. There was a laboratory. What inspired the development of such an intricate, stronghold in the middle of this forest?
So I think the fiction is there is this ancient elven kingdom or city that was based in the woods, right? But this dark magic basically wiped them out, right? But it ended up being that they beat the dark magic, but then they were experimenting with it basically, and was trying to control it, but kind of created all these monsters and things like that. And the Thorn White was basically one of their experiments, and kind of was the thing that kind of wiped them out basically. I think there's some remnants of the history under there, so you get to kind of go through the main castle, and then you find a magic sword down there that was used to steal.
You have some little scraps of paper that look like notes from people who either abandoned or died. We sought to control and wield the wild magic and shaped a guardian from root and crown, but in the end the magic proved beyond our control, and a Thornright was born. Thus we sealed it beneath bark and blade. So there's just some this book it's really great. If you're listening to this and you want to support a small business, it's system agnostic. You could literally run it any way you want, any system. Thorns of the Ancient Seal, not like Kiss from a Rose by Seal, but Thorns of the Ancient Seal. That's specifically because Joe's here. It's really great, and I think as far as TTRPG systems go, I think it's less than $15 to buy it, unless you want to get the dice with it. Which, by the way, they also sell dice, and you can get dice with it. I have my dice somewhere over here in my giant.
You were rolling your Minva dice last game or the game before, and you were kicking our ass with it. So
I was rolling the Minva dice for this game.
It was this game?
I rolled the Minva dice, and I rolled so many rolls above a 20 that it was nonsense, because they're good dice. I think they just have they've got the magic in them.
Samson, I have a question for you.
That was a lot of damage during that episode.
Sure.
Samson, so this laboratory and whatnot in the book, in our game, if we stumbled across that, would that have given the hints as to what could have sparked the whole thing? You know how Alexis's character Gina, she broke the barrier in our world that sparked the barriers across the whole world, breaking and opening and whatnot. So would we have found
real
info
quick?
on
I'm
that?
going to interject real quick. Yeah. that tree was supposed to be in the lab area, and I had to move it to the Orchard of the I had to completely restructure based off of where you went and just the amount of time we had left, because I think we were already going up to midnight at that point.
We were past our usual cutoff.
And there are significant pieces of lore that I had intended about this universe that you would have uncovered in this game that did not come out in this game. You would have found out more about a specific Fae court. You would have found more out about a specific crime organization that Anthony decided to make Cal the founder of also. Which Cal probably wouldn't have been the founder of if we had hit that portion of that lore. But hey, I'm not against it.
It all worked out.
One day you guys are gonna have to fight One day you're gonna have to fight octogenarian Cal.
Oh, I have ideas. As a
BBG.
Oh, don't. I've been meaning to message you. I have ideas for present day Cal.
Oh my god. How old was Cal in the one shot?
Oh, there's an argument between me and Joe because he's like supposed to be my elder or something.
You called him boy. You called him boy, and then you were like,
I
how old is Cal?
I made myself in my 60s, I think, in the one shot, so I could justify calling Bear boy. So I'd be in my 90s present day.
I was going to say
which
you're going to be close.
Which is why I have
breathing.
I have ideas, Sam. It goes into it goes into New York City style stuff and why New York City style stuff was going on to begin with. But we can get into that privately. So
So your ideas might actually tie into a significant portion about what the Syndicate is doing in New Orleans that you guys don't even know about.
He said we'll talk privately and definitely don't give me spoilers for that stuff.
No, I'm not going to give you spoilers for that stuff. For those listening, if you've been following Barrier Cities, we also have this, and I have to remember to say things because this is a public episode. We haven't released a public Talkback Show episode since November, because we usually keep them under wraps for behind the Patreon wall, which for $5 a month you can join to get access to. But this is a public episode of our Talkback Show Roll Again. There is another Barrier Cities campaign that is not public yet. It is New York City. We are in the works of getting a webcomic created because we've been playing New York City for the last 2.5 years at this point. Players from New Orleans who play in New York City are Eric, Rowan, and Anthony, and for a tiny bit of time, Alexis played in New York City. Just the briefest moment. But there's going to be a webcomic, hopefully one day. I've been trying to find artists. If you're listening to this and want to be an artist for Barrier Cities, hey, reach out on any of our social media platforms and we'll talk. Going back to this one shot, how did it feel? Because I think we're the first people to take in your one shot that you wrote and actually make a publicized recorded version of it. How did that feel to actually watch and experience something that you wrote played out in a setting like this?
Oh, it was awesome, and I love the fiction that of your podcast, the sort of modern day. I guess not modern day because it's a couple of years, right? In the past, is that right? So
this one shot takes place in '94. The main campaign, the New Orleans campaign, takes place in 2025.
Gotcha.
So this is taking place in 1994.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it was really cool, and honestly, I love the kind of the new style that you kind of put on it, where it's not the exactly what I think that's something that I was really inspired by. That it wasn't exactly, and that's exactly what I wanted it to be. Is like you kind of take the story and do what you want with it. And honestly, like I've had people run it on like start playing like online and stuff, but I haven't watched it or anything. They haven't recorded anything. So it was really kind of interesting to see it in like a shorter format. And yeah, no, I did catch what you did when you moved the tree to the grassy orchard, because there's technically like 7 like main locations that you could have traveled to in the actual book. Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of places we could have gone. So that moment where I say after you fight the owlbear and Katrina rips its stomach open, because that is sort of the thing that she's prone to do. After you guys are leaving that area, you rolled for figuring out where to go, and I said there was a trail of blood leading in one direction, and then there is a pathway that you, based off the signs that you're seeing, would lead to water. And if you'd taken the pathway to the water, you would have had a whole bunch of really weird, funky stuff happen to you, but you followed the blood, which is totally fine. And then you got to the statue garden, that was largely unchanged from the book, except that I made the statues instead of warrior statues. I made them into fae statues, and I created the cottage. The cottage didn't exist in the book.
Yep.
But you would have found, I want to get her name right, you would have found in the book, if you'd gone to the water, you would have found Elaine. And Elaine, in our version, was Mara. So I just moved Mara from the water to being in the cottage. Elaine. So you would have found Elaine either way. You would have found Elaine at the water if you'd gone to the water. I just decided she's also going to be at the cottage because I thought that would be an important thing for you guys to locate her. And then you fought the wolves.
Was there anything special about the statues? Because I really wanted to break a fucking statue, and I couldn't break a fucking statue.
You rolled so poorly to break a statue.
And I was hoping if I broke a statue, something cool would happen. He's referencing.
Looking at the book. I am looking at the book.
Yeah.
I don't.
In the original book, I don't. Yeah, I don't. There's nothing. I think it's just
to set
in my mind. Yeah, I think it would be for the dungeon master to give, and I think that's what you did. You were like, oh. Has anyone read Lord of the Rings? Right? I think you're trying to say, like, I think they're supposed to be elven statues. I think that's what you're alluding to, right?
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, there's some kind of society that was here, right? That not necessarily human, right? I think that's what you're trying to
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If you had broken a statue, Joe, for just knowledge above board, if you had broken a statue, it would have summoned the wolves so much more quickly than it did.
Is that only because of the sound of breaking the statue?
Exactly, yes, pretty much. If you had broken a statue, it would have summoned the wolves so much more quickly than it would have. Nothing supernatural or magical would have happened except the wolves would have come and kicked your butt.
Did they get summoned, like, initially because he fucking used his baseball bat on the statue?
Yes. Yes, they did. I made it echoed through the forest, and they were like, "Oh, there's something over there." There was we pretty much hit all the big monsters that were in the book. We hit the vines, the brambles, the wolves, the owlbear. There was one. You have this one line about a mutant deer that I really wanted the mutant deer to appear and only have Eric's character see it, because
that would have been fun.
Eric's backstory, Eric's character's backstory was that the only reason he joined the Rangers for the Appalachian Mountains was because he 100% believed there was like weird cryptid mutant labs creating all these creatures in the woods somewhere. And I really wanted to create this mutant deer that only Eric saw. Because I know he would have run with it. And I guarantee he would have been raving mad in his role playing until he actually wound up finding this underground bomb shelter lab that you guys were going to all find. That was my version of the Caracas stronghold. And then he would have all of his thoughts and beliefs would have been vindicated and proven right. That there is a creepy cryptid lab somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. Is everyone here? So I sort of, when I picked the Appalachian Mountains, that's because I've grown up with stories and lore about the Appalachian Mountains my entire life. I have friends and I've known people that live in that region, not quite as south as we played, but West Virginia and up in Pennsylvania and even further up in Maine. I've known people in all these areas, and I grew up on stories about how creepy and weird the Appalachian Mountains are. Was anyone like, why are we playing in this random mountain range that I don't know anything about?
100%. When we said we're doing spooky woods, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to go to the Appalachians.
Joe, did you have any sort of
seems like a good enough. I have no experience with that at all, but it seems like a good enough. I mean, any setting can have drama and intriguing narrative to it when it's set correctly, and I think that what we were given, both from you as the GM and also from the source materials, I think really set up a setting well that we could all, create a collective narrative together that was intriguing.
It was a very political response.
Very cool.
Oh, thanks.
It was very succinct, very very well thought out.
Joe for president. I don't think I just say things and then I try to break statues with a baseball bat.
You chuckle and go into your rage. One of my favorite things that you did, this is just off topic, just a bear appreciation moment, was when Joe just said, I cast Cure Wounds. I had to fight really hard not to lose my shit when you said, oh, bear cast Cure Wounds. And I know deep in my heart that if Rowan had been there, we would have heard the most beautiful Rowan laugh that I've ever heard in that moment. 100%. So, Ian, you wrote this fully intending this to be like in a sort of Forgotten Realms type setting, in a very fantastical, fantasy-driven setting. You mentioned that some people have played it on Start Playing. What other game systems other than 5e are you aware of that have been used to run this system?
Yeah, I know I had a couple friends that ran in Shadow Dark.
Oh, Shadow Dark, very
kind
cool.
Of a more gritty kind of way. I think that kind of works a little bit better with like the lower, like, with the 5 circles kind of stat blocks here and the more simpler kind of abilities. So far it's just D&D Shadow Dark, but I'm sure there's other people that have played it.
I actually have.
What other type of
ran it? You go.
Oh, I was just going to ask. You had mentioned earlier that you had gotten into some different role-playing games. What other games are you kind of into playing on your own personal level or with the people that you work with?
Yeah. There's one called Quest that I really like. Quest RPG. That one is, I would say, a little less. It's like Shadow Dark, but less gritty. So not as dangerous. But it has these like really cool cards, kind of like Daggerheart. If you guys have seen or played Daggerheart, where the cards are a little bit easier to get like newer players in. So actually, Dungeon Master once a month, and I get a lot of new players. So it's kind of easier to like get them started on. Like a little bit easier system once they kind of get ramped up on like how to actually role play. You know what I mean? And then they can start getting into more of like, get into the abilities and things like that. Another one I like is Cairn. That one's sort of like another OSR kind of style one, kind of like Shadow Dark as well. So I've kind of been getting into the more OSR kind of, I would say, less D&D like. But I mean, I also D&D play D&D once a month too. So I still love it. Everyone loves it still. So
We think it's okay.
So I'm trying to think of other settings.
It's fine.
5e is fine. 4e's where it's at. Come on. No. You can shoot me now. No. We've dipped into 10 candles before. Tomorrow, we are actually recording The Lighthouse at the End of the World, which is a solo RPG that we are making into a DM and player RPG. And we're going to be doing a whole series of solo and duet RPGs, just to get, one, because we want to play more, and two, because I really love settings that aren't D&D purely because they're different. A lot of these small RPGs just don't get as much love as the big names, D&D, Pathfinder, now Daggerheart with popularity from Critical Role, Monster of the Week. Adventure Zone did a whole giant Monster of the Week, so now everyone knows who Monster of the Week is. But D&D's the big one, and there's this great website. I'm going to shout them out because they're doing a giant sale right now, which I don't know if this sale will still be running when this episode comes out, so if it's not, I'm sorry. But it's Tabletop Bookshelf. And they're fantastic. We're not sponsored by them at all, but they're another small business that you 100% should support because they very much focus on indie RPGs, indie TTRPGs. I just got a whole bunch of systems that we're going to be trying out. Lighthouse in the Underworld, Beneath, a very cozy one because Anthony's character in Barrier Cities loves tea. We're going to be playing Tea Time Adventures, which is literally just drinking tea and doing like shopping trips and stuff like that, like silly things. Just fun times. But they're reasonably priced. They give you digital copies with your physical copies, which I love. And they don't just limit it to one download. You get like 5 or 10 downloads of the digital copy that you can send all your players. You can do all that stuff. And majority of the money that goes back to the original company. It doesn't even really go to Tabletop Bookshelf as much. It's fantastic. That's just, we're not sponsored by them. If you hear this Tabletop Bookshelf and you want to sponsor me and send me free RPGs, I'll shout you out all the time. But we're talking about Minva today. Where did Minva the name come from?
That's a good question. Actually, at first I kind of, if you could see my style, it's not very flashy. I guess in terms of design, right? It's not like a giant scroll, like background, like kind of or like crazy, like typography. I kind of wanted to keep it simple, so it's kind of like a mix of minimal, and then Virginia, where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Minva, Virginia. So minimal Virginia, and then I kind of started off doing my own, like it wasn't D&D originally. It was like just random design stuff because I'm sort of in web design, and it was like designing T-shirts and things like that. And then I was like, man, I should do something I actually like doing, which is role playing games and things like that. So.
No, you've actually.
When I went on the website, I was looking because I wanted to just check out like what this was all about before we were playing it, and I noticed that there's like a million other things happening on the Minva website. What other things are you like excited about?
Yeah, so actually, I make a couple journals, so like player journals. I like doing a lot of analog stuff. This is like a little combat tracker notepad that I think I sent you.
I'm so excited
like
to use
DMs.
it. I'm so excited to use it on Tuesday when we record New Orleans because I'm just going to break it down real quick. It's got the initiative number, the name, the HP, the AC, the status notes. It's all, and they're tear off pages. So you're done with the session, just tear it off, and then you got a million more pages. It's fantastic. It's the simplest idea, but I have in my phone just random notes on my notes app with everyone's initiative from like the entire history of Barrier Cities, New Orleans. And this is just way better.
Nice. Yeah. So I make a lot of like analog stuff because I like, at my table, I like writing with my pencil.
Mhm.
I also have my iPad too. I mean, it's funny because I get a lot of comments of like, oh, I use all digital stuff. I'm like, that's cool. I have digital stuff too. Like, however you want to play, it's not, you don't need to make it
And
mad.
I'm the same way when I DM. I like to write shit
yeah, no,
in front of me so I can find it easier.
Yeah. It's like, fiddling with windows and stuff on my laptop. Sometimes I'm like, man, I gotta use the window. I close it. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta, reload it again. Sometimes it's just good to have both. Yeah, no, I also design stickers and pins and keychains and, like you said, I sell some dice too. So I have these little glass bottles with like labels on them that are cool. So there's one right here I have on my desk. It says jar of shiny math rocks. That is like a little label, and then I put it onto the bottles and then put some dice in it. And, it's a little bit more fun than just like giving you the dice straight up.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any? Sorry, Samson.
No, you go. The less I have to talk to.
Do you have any other sort of campaign ideas kind of bubbling around, or like anything you want to add to what you've already put out, or just new concepts in general?
Yeah, I have a couple that I'm writing, and I have like probably 5 in drafts, and it's probably going to take me a year or 2 to finish. But I'm actually running a campaign with my group. It's called The Verdict of Brass. So this one's in like an urban city. Not as high magic as sort of this one, but it's about like a cult. And there's like a triumvirate that's kind of running the city, and one of them is trying to take over, and they're like executing people in the
usual
streets,
city
like
stuff. Got it.
That one's one that I have in the background. Usual city stuff. Yeah, there's always a cult. Oh yeah, people dying. And then there's kind of another one that's adjacent that I did have another slot. This one's more of like a 5-room adventure, and it's called Shatterbloom. And so this one's sort of in a kind of decrepit arboretum, so kind of in the same vein, where like magic's kind of lost control and kind of reclaimed this place. And so I'm kind of thinking of making a full setting one day. I think right now it's just easier as a kind of a 2-person shop to kind of just shoot out one shots and kind of maybe create the fiction.
When can we
along the
expect Samson to attack us?
Well, it's pretty cool that you get to like play test.
I can send you the one that I already have set up if you're interested in Samson.
Oh, definitely. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
we're looking for. We want to do all these things. That sounds great. I have a question for you then. If you're going to send me this one, do you want to guest play in that in whatever you're sending me? You can actually test out your own system.
Oh man, I could, but it's one of those like I know what's going to happen, but then again, you are going to make it different. So if you make it different enough, I would love to play. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That sounds great. We're coming to the end of our time that we normally record, I believe. Oh no, we still got plenty of time. Never mind. I'm just saying things. We don't have plenty of time. We have like 10 minutes, but that's more time than I thought we had. What does the future? What do you hope for the future of Minva to really be? Like 10 years down the road.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, I started this business sort of during COVID, as a lot of people did. Kind of did their own kind of side thing, and I started off, like I said, designing like just regular designs and things like that, and then really got into the D&D stuff because I was playing a lot with my friends, and basically using like those templates that I had, like so like that initiative tracker was like an old template that I just had, and then I decided to like spruce it up and make it good enough to give to people.
I'm gonna just plug it again. It's so simple and it makes so much sense, and I don't know why I haven't just made this for myself already.
It's one of those like tools that kind of I hated scribbling in the margins and then losing my thing like at the end of the game, like to like look through the combat and be like, oh yeah, I forgot this monster that's still alive had this much damage and like got wounded in a certain way, right? Like, oh, your players would be like, oh, I thought this guy lost an arm. Like, oh yeah, he definitely did.
You forget stuff. You forget stuff so
it's
easily.
One of those, like, yeah, totally. And so I don't know, 10 years, I kind of want to come out with a couple adventures, maybe a setting. I don't want to like, make these like grand things. I want to keep it fun and like whatever happens.
Yeah.
But eventually, one of those quit your day job and then
That's
you're
always
doing this
the
full
dream.
time. But
do you do this full time or do you have a day job? Not to like get into.
I do have a day job. No, I do have a day job. I do like web design, so kind of putting that like design kind of skills to the test for something that you actually want to do.
And that's the dream. The dream is one day we'll just do this for fun for full time jobs. I mean, we all have day jobs. We all do our own things. We're not successful gamers yet, but we will be. You want to help support us be a successful gamer. By the time you hear this will be official. If everyone listening, I'm going to do a little ad real quick. I like energy drinks. Most of the world likes energy drinks. We are sponsored by a company called Dubby now that make pretty great energy drinks, and you can get yourself a discounted from their website if you use the code Barrier Cities. That's spelled exactly as how you think it is. Barrier Cities will get you 10% off on your order. By all means, go use it because why not get a discount when you can? They're sugar-free, no jitter-free energy. They're all natural. It's a really great company. Go support it. Continuing with the episode. Ad over.
Smooth.
I know. I'm the king of smoothness. Just when I'm either killing you guys in the game or plugging, making that dollar, plugging companies. As we get closer, so smooth. It's like what's Vanta Black. That's how smooth I am.
It's just like the smoothness of a Dubby energy drink.
Into the smoothness of the Dubby energy drink going down. Hey, I'm actually really excited because they have one of my favorite flavors that is a very South specific thing. Are any of you familiar with the flavor Tiger's Blood? Yes.
No.
Tiger's Blood, it's a very South specific thing. It's very much southern central like Texas, and I lived in Texas for the last 14 years and I grew infatuated with Tiger's Blood flavored things. It's like cinnamon strawberry orange combined. Cinnamon strawberry and orange combined. It's you don't think they work until you have it, and then you're like, oh, I can't get enough of this injected into my system, so I too can have the blood of a tiger. Well, they have a Tiger's Blood version of their energy drink and they're sending it to me and I'm so psyched. Yeah.
I thought the ad was
I'm
over.
just pumped about that. But anyway, yeah, that was just me being excited about something that I'm getting. That was just me. That was Joe's fault. We're coming to the end of our time. We spent the last couple minutes talking about energy drinks. Something we like to do at the end of these episodes is we have members roll a wisdom save. Ian, do you have any D20s on hand that you could roll real quick?
Oh yeah, I probably can. I'm gonna need to grab one. Oh yep, I got one.
That's the life. You just have D20s laying around. I have D20s all over the place too.
Oh yeah, no, I do. They're around.
Go ahead and roll me. What do you think your wisdom modifier would be for you, the person, Ian?
Wisdom. I don't know.
Yep.
Normal people, they start off with 10, right? So like 0. I'll give myself an 11. I would say I'm a little.
Either way.
Well, you need a 12 if you want a +1. Otherwise, you get still get a +0.
Oh, that's true. I'll make it 12. I'll give myself
+1. Okay, so roll D20. Let's see what you get.
All right.
Nice.
Oh wow, I rolled 15, so it's 16.
16. So that's a good wisdom save.
Yeah.
I've actually usually I just fly by the seat of my pants and say like, what's something that would be good? I've actually written stuff. I'm going to continue writing stuff for what you get on a good wisdom save. So here you go. You see clearly. The loudest voice in your head isn't always the wisest one. The wise voice is usually quieter. It asks better questions. It considers long-term consequences. It protects relationships more than ego. Before you speak or act, ask, will this matter in 5 days? Will this matter in 5 months? Will this matter in 5 years? If not, it's better to back away. Wisdom isn't knowing everything, it's knowing what doesn't deserve your energy. So that's the advice you get on your 16 wisdom save. A little piece of advice, life lesson.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Did you turn these things where you had to make me think of something up on the spot into you now are just dishing out fortune cookie wisdoms?
I did. I did. Well, because, listen, it is entertaining to make people struggle and I don't know what to say. I like this a lot more, especially because I think we've all done the round of having to be on the spot. So now we could kill that bit, and you can just give wisdom. I'll give wisdom. I'm gonna spend every week we do this show coming up with something. I have one written for. See, it's funny. I have 3 pieces written. I have a good save. You got the good save. I also have the average save, and I have the bad save.
Just make sure you cross out the ones that you use.
Nice.
Exactly. We don't want to repeat. We don't want to repeat saves. But anyway, this for everyone listening at home, this has been Roll Again. If, again, you're listening to this and you're like, what's going on in this? We are a podcast called Barrier Cities, New Orleans from Saving Thirst Society. This is talking about our most recent one-shot, Thorns of the Ancient Seal. If you didn't hear it and you made it all the way to the end of this, I'm so sorry because we probably just ruined it for you. If you want to check back, we have a full video recording version on YouTube. For those of us who usually listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you want to see our faces, go to YouTube. You'll be able to see them. If not, continue just imagining what we look like. I have a full head of hair. Don't anyone argue with that.
Joe does too.
I have a full head of hair. Joe has hair. Anthony's bald.
I haven't had hair on my head in a year. Something.
This has been an episode of Roll Again. We are Saving Thirst Society. My name is Samson. I am the DM and everything else in the world in most of our episodes, except for when I'm not. Anthony played Cal in this episode, but he usually plays Al. Are you just looking to play
give away the bit.
that rhyme with?
Don't give away the bit.
That same. Joe played Bear in this episode. Joe usually plays Zebulon Cold Springs in our New Orleans campaign, and we had Ian Fajardo from Minva Games who wrote the one-shot Thorns of the Ancient Seal. Very exciting. It's been great to have everyone here. Check back next week as we resume our normal campaign for episode 8 of Barrier Cities, New Orleans.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.